Over spring break, I was given the opportunity to travel out of the country to the beautiful Peru on a study abroad trip. I can honestly say this was the best and worst week of my life. This trip came with many days that challenged me, but helped me grow and introduced me to the most amazing opportunities and relationships anyone could ask for. First things first, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mel Hasler, and I'm a sophomore studying agricultural communication at Purdue University. Although I joke around and say that I'm a big world traveler for taking trips around the United States, I've never actually been out of the country. This trip was an eye opening and earth rattling experience for a Midwest corn fed cowgirl. In preparation for this trip, my classmates and I were able to take a class called ASEC 491. For part of the semester leading up to spring break, my peers and I were able to dive into the culture, history, and any material we could find about Peru. Our professors, Dr. Russell and Dr. Fields, prepared us with presentations, videos, guest speakers, and everything they could without taking us to the country itself. Although I felt more than prepared, there are things that you can't just prepare for, like the sight of Machu Picchu, the taste of fried guinea pig, or any barriers and setbacks that come with traveling. The very first day, my group loaded up in the vans at Purdue University around 3 a.m. to make a haul to the Chicago airport. We arrived 3 hours early. Everyone made it through check-in fairly easily except me and Adrian. Between not having a COVID test and forgetting a vaccination card, the two of us and Dr. Russell ended up staying a day and wandering the streets of Chicago. Although we were devastated, it was a learning curve for all three of us. One would think that it would make me more prepared for this trip and pay close attention to things, but you guessed wrong. While we were traveling from Lima to Cusco, I not only lost my boarding pass on our shuttle bus, but my phone too. The next few hours, followed by the next 4 days, were very hard for me. I didn't have contact with my parents, I wasn't able to take pictures, and I felt lost. But it did make me feel more connected with my group members and was much more attentive on our tours. Our tour guides were absolutely amazing and so much fun to get to know. At the beginning of our first tour, they warned us that we were going to have a headache, maybe a stomach ache, and feel lightheaded and maybe even nauseous. I had no idea what they were talking about until we went to dinner, and everything that I ate came right back up. The altitude sickness was a new and unfamiliar sickness, but the locals had remedies for us tourists that helped an unreal amount. Thank goodness for the Peruvian people. Prior to our trip, we were paired with four students from the School of Agriculture in Lima called La Molina. Over Zoom, I didn't quite understand how I was going to be able to build a relationship with these students, but it came so naturally when we were all together. This also isn't just relevant for the La Molina students. When I first came to class, I was very unfamiliar with my classmates and didn't feel like I made a real connection with them until we went on the trip. We were all very quiet, not conversational, and not very comfortable talking about our prior experiences around each other. But the first 2 days into the trip, we were sharing food and drinks, telling stories, and it felt like we had known each other a lifetime. Without this trip, I wouldn't have made 16 new best friends, especially with four of those being in a different country. During my trip to Peru, a lot of our schedule outlined surrounded archaeological sites built from the Incas, the Ala communities, and experiencing Peruvian culture as a whole. During our trip on every tour, we were able to immerse ourselves in the rich history of Peru and the Incan cultures by visiting places such as Machu Picchu and Incan museums. We were also able to visit multiple communities to learn about their agriculture practices and get to know the people there, which was so amazing in itself. During this trip, there were a lot of aha moments and big takeaways that I'm able to implement in my everyday life. The first one, which is an honorable mention, is attention to detail. I found out very quickly that whether you're traveling across the state, across the country, or to a foreign area, attention to detail is very, very important. The next takeaway is making friends who are different from me. At the beginning of this trip, I kept my circle very small, and I only hung out with people who had the same interests and future career goals as me. After spending a week with people entirely different from me, I made friendships outside the agriculture community that will last a lifetime. When you're studying abroad, it is very important to immerse yourself in the culture. You have no idea what these people can teach you, provide for you, and how much you can take away from this experience. And that brings us to taking advantage of every opportunity. The world is full of opportunities. You just have to take the initiative and grasp onto them and make the most of them. When anyone asks me about my trip to Peru, it is hard to find the words to describe of what I learned, how I grew, and how I changed as a person. I hope that Purdue students understand the amazing opportunities that Purdue gives students and take the advantage of going on a study abroad trip. The amount of lifelong friends that you're going to make is unbelievable, and the connections that you have after can help you in the future. You're not only making friends of a lifetime, but you learn about things you just couldn't learn from a textbook. The rich culture and history is eye opening for anyone who is willing to learn and listen. Not only do you learn about the world around you, but you learn about